Hello everyone, Chris here with Platinum Reviews. Today I have the newest Platinum review for Final Fantasy III on PlayStation 4. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It means a bunch to me. And if you like Final Fantasy content, be sure to check out the reviews for Final Fantasy 1 and 2. I'm going to be doing one for everyone in the Pixel Remaster collection, so be sure to be subscribed so you can check them all out. Without further ado though, I give you the Platinum review for Final Fantasy III. Four Warriors of Light: Bilbo, Dilbo, Filbo, and Todd. Imbued with the powers of the crystal. By the way, that's not the real name. I don't know why I named them that. I'm not good at naming people in games, so that's what you get. But imbued with the powers of the crystals, they work together to try and stop darkness and restore light to the kingdom. Final Fantasy III's story is okay. It's kind of simplistic, and there weren't really any moments that were thought-provoking or, emotional. I will say there were some lighthearted moments that made me chuckle a few times, so I did like that they put some humor into the story, but overall the story was just okay. I actually preferred 2 more than I did 3, and I'm currently playing through 4, and I'm liking that one the most out of the 4 that I've played so far. So while 3 is better than 1 story, it's a okay story, and it's definitely not the reason I would suggest the game. Final Fantasy III is fun, and it's enjoyable. I do think it's a step up from Final Fantasy II. Final Fantasy II brought in the keyword system, which was atrocious, and I hated it. I'm so glad they got rid of it with Final Fantasy III. They also got rid of Final Fantasy II's no level up system, where you just leveled up proficiency and weapon proficiency, stuff like that. They got rid of that. They brought it back to the basics, which is a good thing. So Final Fantasy III does improve on Final Fantasy II, but what are some of the other things that Final Fantasy III does? Well, let's talk about some of the first that it does for the Final Fantasy series. Final Fantasy III is the first Final Fantasy to introduce Moogles. That's right, they're in here, and adorable like always. Also, Final Fantasy III introduces summons. Yes, summons. You can get multiple summons, and there are some hidden summons that you can get. So it's really cool to see where they originally came from, and I really enjoyed trying to get them all. Now, another thing that Final Fantasy III introduces is the job class system. Every character can be any job. You just swap them out, and you can swap them out at any time. There's a kind of puzzle aspect to it too, which I liked a lot as well. Certain parts of the game you can switch like mini to where you have like mini dungeons, and physical attacks don't work in those. So you have to switch to magic class so that you can do magical damage and damage these enemies. So it's really cool to try and play with these different jobs and see which one kind of fits best. Some of the late job classes that you get are absolutely OP. Sage and Ninja, oh my goodness, super awesome, and they just do so much damage. I really enjoyed building up my jobs and seeing what everything does. One thing I would suggest, though, there is a missable trophy, and we'll kind of discuss more of these in depth towards the end. But with the job classes, stay on one job class with at least one person. I chose with my Black Mage to leave him as a Black Mage until he hits level 99. If you swap out of that and you go to a different job class, you have to start that over because one of the trophies is get a job to level 99. So I say one of the base starting classes that you get, just stick someone on there and leave it to that until you hit 99. It'll save you a lot of time and make it to where you don't have to grind towards the end of the game. The job classes actually bring me to my biggest gripe with Final Fantasy III, and that is that there's no explanation on what the job classes do. Yeah, you kind of, knowing the series and stuff like that, know what some of the job classes do, but if you're new to the series, you're not going to know. Getting a Dragoon, I knew I was going to have the jump ability. However, if I did not know that with the series, I would have been like, what? Dragoon, what does he do? You don't know until you actually select him and put him in battle. Normally you can press square and it tells you like what the person does or like stuff like that as far as items. But unfortunately with Final Fantasy III, it makes it to where you are unable to see what the job actually does until you choose it in battle, which was one of my biggest gripes. Another one of my gripes is characters in the games, NPCs, block your way to go into places so often, and it's very infuriating just waiting for them. You're just standing there, you have to get past them, and they're just walking back and forth, and you're just waiting on them. So that was definitely a big gripe that I had in the game, and unfortunately, that was just something that happened in RPGs back in the day. But I think those were my main two issues with the game. Other than that, I really enjoyed my time with Final Fantasy III. Now, the music in Final Fantasy III, music in all the Final Fantasies are amazing, but I think 3 is the first one in the original 3 that I've gone, ooh, this song hits. And there are a few times in this where there's just a really, really good song. So as far as the first 3 Final Fantasies goes, I definitely think 3 has the strongest soundtrack of them all. Final Fantasy III is an awesome game, and it's definitely one that I would suggest playing. If you decide to pick and choose from the Pixel Remaster, I would definitely pick 3 as one of the ones to play first, just because it is really, really fun and introduces a lot of staples for the Final Fantasy series. Final Fantasy III is not without its issues, but they're not too bad to where I would suggest not playing the game. I would give Final Fantasy III a 9 out of 10. That is right. As far as the platinum is concerned, it's not an overly complex platinum like the other Final Fantasies. I would give the Final Fantasy III Platinum a 2 out of 10. My suggestion is there is a website you can go to. Just Google the Steam Final Fantasy III walkthrough, and it actually tells you step by step every single trophy, how to do everything in the game. You won't miss anything because there are a lot of missable trophies. There's missable items, there's missable chest, missable locations. I think I said missable, but I meant missable. Just a lot of things are missable in this game. I would follow a guide because it's going to make your life a lot easier and make it to where you don't have to put in a second playthrough. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions about the game, any questions about the trophies, Beast, anything like that, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try and help you out the best I can. This has been Chris with Platinum Reviews. As always, keep getting those trophies, and I'll catch you on the next video.